Welcome to a quick overview to understanding journal article version terms. There are 15 different article version terms listed here, but what do each of these terms actually mean? There are 4 main article versions: submitted, accepted, proof, and published. Publishers often prefer to use their own terminology rather than use a standard or universal term. These 4 article version terms represent consecutive stages in the journal publication process, and we will look at each of these in turn. The submitted version is the version of the article before peer review or editing, as first submitted by an author to the journal. It is also known as the author's original manuscript, or preprint. This article version is suitable for deposit to a preprint server. However, as the submitted version has not yet undergone peer review, this version of a journal article is not suitable for deposit to eSpace, Curtin's institutional repository. The accepted version is the final author-created version that incorporates referee comments, author revisions, and has been accepted for publication by the journal. It is also known as the author's accepted manuscript, the author's accepted version, final author version, or postprint. For journals published under the traditional journal subscription model, it is the accepted version that most publishers permit researchers to self-archive in an institutional repository. Accepted article versions will typically present in a standard manuscript format and not contain publisher typesetting or logos. The proof is a copy of the accepted version subject to publisher stylistic edits and formatting, and it is provided to researchers for final review prior to article publication. This version generally contains headings or watermarks, distinguishing it from the published version. Under the traditional subscription model, an article proof is copyright to the publisher, and it is not permitted to be self-archived by researchers in eSpace. And finally, the published version. This is the peer-reviewed, edited, formatted and typeset version of the article, including citation, tagging and indexing by the publisher. It is also known as the final published version or version of record. Published article versions are the easiest to identify. These contain the publisher logo and typesetting, citation information and copyright statement. If a researcher has published via the traditional subscription model, the publisher generally retains copyright over the published version, and publishers generally do not permit the published article version to be self-archived in an institutional repository such as eSpace. Instead, researchers are encouraged to deposit the accepted version to eSpace, not the published version when publishing via the traditional subscription model. However, if a researcher has published via the open access model, the author usually retains copyright over the published version, or the publisher license permits sharing of the published version under an open license. Authors are therefore free to self-archive the published version of their article in eSpace. This concludes the quick overview of understanding journal article version terms. Thank you.